Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good afternoon, everyone. Phil Pinarski here with the News 8 Live Desk. Hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. We have not one, but two very special guests joining us on the live desk today. Storm Team 8 meteorologists Blake Harms and Sara Flynn are now here to talk about the upcoming weather special. It is titled Weathering West Michigan, the Storms That Shaped Us, and it discusses three major storms that we have felt here in West Michigan: the 1998 derecho storm, the 1980 Kalamazoo tornado, and the 1978 blizzard. That special is airing on Monday. We hope everybody tunes in for that. We're going to be giving you kind of a behind-the-scenes look at it in just a little bit, but first things first, Sara and Blake, thank you both so much for being here. It's great to see you guys again.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Excited to be here.
Mm-hmm. Of course. You know, this special is set to air on Monday, and we're super excited about it. But first things first, why was this a topic you both wanted to cover in this special that you thought was important for our viewers to kind of learn a little bit more about?
It kind of started off interesting a little bit. We knew we wanted to loop Bill into it, which is a familiar face that you'll see throughout the 30 minutes. And just chatting with him about the three major weather events that happened over his career, we kind of landed on these three. And we kind of focused in from there, and it spiraled into an interesting special where you'll see a lot more familiar faces in our newsroom, past and present employees. And so that was kind of the premise and the idea, and it has just kind of spun into a really cool recap and a historical special that way.
Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd for like looking back on the old footage and stuff, and so this was kind of my dream, getting to look back on how we kind of cover these events at a station and getting to talk to some of the folks here in the newsroom who dealt with those events and covered them. It's just kind of a unique kind of behind the scenes look at how we covered each of those events, and I think that's what makes this special pretty unique.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, and you know, here in West Michigan, I think I can speak to this pretty well because I'm not from here. I didn't grow up kind of dealing with the weather, but I think I've already lived through a couple of pretty impressive events already in the 2 years that I have been here. But what specifically was it about these three events that you thought were the most important to tackle in this special, the three major storms that, as you pointed out in the title, shaped us here in West Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, I think for starters, the three that we're talking about is the blizzard of 1978, the Kalamazoo tornado of 1980, and then the derecho of 1998. The derecho, I think a lot of people living here remember quite well, and that's such a widespread event that creates so much destruction. We knew that had to be included for sure. As far as the blizzard, we obviously had that Christmas blizzard or around Christmas back in 2022, but this one was just absolutely insane, and you'll see it with the footage, just the differences in the magnitude of how much snow was seen. And finally, the Kalamazoo tornado, it was back in 1980 again, so some people still remember it, some people still kind of live in that general area where it passed through, and so just to hear those recounts was also just a neat tidbit to add in.
I think over the last 50 years, when you think of the biggest snowstorm, you think of the blizzard. When you think of the most impactful tornado we've had as a whole in the last 50 years, Kalamazoo, and the biggest thunderstorm complex we've had in the last 50 years with the derecho. So those are kind of the marquee events for each of those weather types that we thought would be best to recap.
Mm-hmm. And you guys obviously put in a ton of effort and work into putting this special all together that, again, airs on Monday. For everybody watching, be sure to tune in for that. But what really kind of behind-the-scenes look, give people kind of a behind-the-scenes look about some of the work that really went in. You guys obviously had to go through a bunch of archive footage, talk to Bill, as you both said, and how impactful he was kind of back then and what he was able to bring to this special. I mean, just kind of imagine it for everybody, just seeing this special for the first time on Monday, what you guys really went through to make sure that we kind of get this little bit of a history lesson.
Yeah, it's been a process. We kind of launched this idea over a month ago. So from there, you know, we gathered the interviews. The neat thing about this special that I think we're both excited about is there's not a narration. So you won't hear Blake or I kind of like narrating like you would on a general newscast. It's just sound bites and different sounds that you heard throughout those weather events. So that kind of makes it unique, but it also made it really challenging for us to kind of piece together ultimately.
Right. I think, you know, there's just so much content. It was a massive puzzle. So we had our lovely photographers, Dan and Mike did a little bit too, go to the tape machine and actually pull the old tape archives, because Sara and I do not know how to do that. And then we conducted, I believe it was like 13 interviews for this. So we really tried to get as much content as we could, and then it was actually kind of tricky to trim it down into a half-hour-long special. But I think that was something that bit of a unique challenge for us was we had all these pieces that we had to condense, and like Sara said, without any narration, it's just taking you through the storm, through the perspectives of people, and through the actual sound bites from reports from that time frame. And so that was a fun challenge for us.
Right, yeah, no, definitely want to give a shout out to Mike and Dan for their work behind the scenes as well.
Absolutely.
And don't want to give too much away, obviously, to the special. We want people to tune in, but is there a specific part that you guys really enjoyed kind of researching about, or maybe there was an interview you guys really liked, something that you know people are also going to really enjoy that you want to give us a little bit of a sneak peek about?
For me, the ending I think is unique, and you may not see it kind of coming. We kind of add a little something in there. And I think it kind of is a very meaningful way to wrap up the special. So I'd encourage you to watch to the end just for that reason.
Yeah, I think the derecho part for me is the part that I'm very pleased with how it all turned out. But the derecho is like the images that come from that storm are just so remarkable, and we have so much old footage, as you're seeing now, that I think the way the story is told through the people who worked that day here in the station in 1998, it's pretty remarkable to kind of go through, and some of the scenes that people still remember 26 years later. So I think that's what I'm really excited about.
The third part is, I think, our strongest.
Yeah,
so
right,
definitely wait to that too.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're just looking at some of this old footage now, and I am kind of a nerd about, seeing that. I like how the aspect ratio is slightly off. Just proves just how far we've come in the sense of technology, but then also that we were really on the ground during all of these major storms, that Wood TV8 was a part of bringing people all of the latest information. I mean, this blizzard footage alone is remarkable to see.
Yeah.
Well, we interviewed Henry Earp for the blizzard. He still works here, and he was reporting in the blizzard 46 years ago.
Right.
So we have some tenured people who are able to tell some good stories.
Yes, definitely. And kind of, wrapping up, Sarah and Blake, obviously, Monday is the big day when the special is going to air, when everybody's going to kind of see all the hard work you've put in. What do you really hope people kind of take away from this special? Just from learning a little bit about the storms, maybe reliving them through the video itself. I mean, what do you hope that they kind of take home with them, remember, and kind of what sticks with them after they watch it?
I think the coolest part of this is how many familiar faces you'll see being interviewed on the other side of the camera. You oftentimes see these weather events, you tune in and watch our newscasts, but you don't always know what happens behind the scenes. And I think a lot of our staff here really paints that picture. So I think that'll be really enlightening for a lot of viewers.
Yeah, I think for me, it's if anything, for the weather nerds out there like us, it's a really neat trip down memory lane to see the images that you all saw as those events unfolded. And I think it's just a really unique way for us to kind of share some of those biggest events and to show that we do get all kinds of weather here in West Michigan in big ways.
Absolutely. Well, we're very much looking forward to it. Again, it is airing this Monday. Be sure everybody tunes in. You can find a little bit of a sneak peek, a little bit of a trailer right now over on our website, woodtv.com. Get a kind of better idea, and then we also have links to those 3 major storm anniversary stories that we've done in the past. So if you want to learn a little bit more history before the special, get kind of familiar with it, you can definitely check those out right now. Blake and Sarah, thank you both so much for stopping by. We're looking forward to Monday.
Thank you, Phil.
Of course. I want to thank everybody else for tuning in to this latest edition of the News 8 Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.